Brother here,
Yes, sir.
brother here. Championship culture sometimes can be predictable. Sometimes we're unpredictable.
Absolutely. Hmm.
But we couldn't let what happened on Saturday slide without talking about that WWE Winged Eagle Championship. It's a belt that is one of the most iconic designs, and it seems like all wrestling history. It symbolizes what the WWF, and yes, I said WWF. Now knows WWE championship during its most like golden era, its most prominent era, the era that all the people that's enjoying wrestling right now grew up with, right? It still
Absolutely.
remains a fan favorite. You know, we keep seeing these replicas being released, and Cody Brahim brought this championship. And I'm asking a question. It's probably gonna set some people off. Is it a relic
What's that
now?
question? A
Is it a
relic.
relic
Hmm.
now? Well, let's get to it. Oh, buddy. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to the Wrestling Realm Presents Season 3 of Championship Culture. I'm Brandon the
Yep.
Guy
Yep.
Guy. He is none other than H to the A to the S to the C to the H to the 3 to the R to the 3. None other than
Nah,
Brother
come on,
Hugh
man. Come
as
on,
the
man.
third.
You being disrespectful right now. You messed it up.
All right, go ahead. Do it. Do it again.
Is HASTHE to the three RD. Get it right. Thank you.
All
I
right, there we go.
appreciate you.
I missed the E because I was too excited because,
You did get
it's
excited.
Tuesday and you know what that means. This is what caught my eye because it's Tuesday. The red light is on and you know what that means, right? And let's just say this. Oh, we starting already. Oh man, Alexander. He couldn't wait to
Ooh.
say that. The Kevin Owens sucks. I don't know if you saw what he posted. He's now claiming to be our WWE champion, but we're gonna get to that. Brother Hugh,
Yes, sir.
you see what I got over my shoulder.
What is that? That's is that the most iconic design ever, according to some
Well,
individuals?
I'm gonna get one thing out of the way, and I'm gonna just say,
Hmm.
while I'm now gonna classify this as a replica. I mean, a relic, not a replica, but a relic, because a relic, by definition, is an object surviving from an earlier time, especially one of historical or sentimental interest. And we saw
Hmm.
that on Saturday when Cody Rhodes, all the way back in 2023, was teasing about he wanted to bring back this classic championship, right? He
Right, right,
wanted to
right.
make sure that he brought this back, and that's something that he wanted to, he wasn't going to let go, just like he wasn't going to not finish his story, right? Yes, it's probably one of the most popular belts, one of the things that's been up for discussion. It always sparks a conversation. Hence, at Championship Culture, one of our earlier shows was Big Gold. I mean, I'm sorry, Big Eagle versus Wing Eagle. Then we even had Big Gold versus the World. But it seems like this belt, this very belt, always comes back in the conversation, right? Now
Yep.
I'm gonna just stay right there for a second because, brother, here, before
Hmm.
we get into this belt, I gotta ask you the question:
Oh gosh, here we go.
did it live up to its hype on Saturday?
Did it live up to the hype?
Okay,
To be
go
honest,
ahead.
I think I was more excited about the vignette that they threw at us before the show than the
Mm-hmm.
actual appearance of the belt. To be honest,
Okay.
I mean, honestly, I was expecting something different about the belt. I was expecting Cody to put his own little touch to it, come out with like a American Nightmare winged eagle type design, white strapped out with red, white, and blue, and sparkles and fireworks coming out of it. You know,
Mm.
but hey, it served its purpose because now they're about to make a lot of money off of this bad boy. You see what's going on social media? Everybody's raving about the winged eagle. That's all people are talking about right now.
I'm gonna just let that sit there for a minute. I don't even know if I want to
Mm,
read that,
I
but
did.
he says
Yeah,
he must have got his CD player back from bro man.
that's right.
No
Definitely
turtleneck and chain this week. Yeah, so if you
on
want
the
to see what
fifth
he's
floor.
talking about, go back and watch the last episode, which was WWE NXT UK, right? And it looks like Hugh's birthday twin is in the chat. But
You're what's going on,
brother
brother?
Hugh, the reason I asked you that, right? When we
Yeah.
talk about this belt, and I'm gonna just let the belt sit there for a second, all right? Can you see it? Does
Hmm.
it look good?
I
Am
can
I
see
am
it.
I even? Okay.
I got my
So when
I
we
got my
talk about
contacts
this
in. I
belt,
can see it.
you can see it, right? The
Hmm.
Wing Eagle belt debuted February 5th, 1988, right? We could dispute some dates because back in those days it was tape delays, it was brought out on a live show, whatever it may be, right? But Hulk
Absolutely.
Hogan was awarded this new design during an episode of what we saw on Saturday's night main event, right? When he
Hmm.
faced Andre the Giant that night. And yes, we could talk about the controversy, but the thing I want to talk about is the design by, the actual King of Belts, Reggie Parks designed this belt, right? People
Hmm.
may know Reggie Parks because his iconic designs were seen in a lot of the wrestling that we love to date, right? And I'm gonna start
Yep.
from this end. Clearly, the property plate was for the WWF Championship, and yes, I do have a WWF property stamp. And what's unique about this, brother Hugh, tell the people what a lot of people may not know, because I know you pointed this out earlier on, that this was not one of the original ones, and a lot of people may not know. What was the original
Well,
one for the original
well,
holder?
when for your early champions such as Hulk Hogan, and then you had guys like Warrior and Macho Man Randy Savage, they had their own little custom. Let's call it a nameplate. Wasn't really a
Hmm.
property plate. It was more of a nameplate for them at that point in time. Boom.
And
Just to
Hulk
add their own
Hogan,
little touch of flair to it.
right. And as the story goes, this was the Ultimate Warriors was actually a prototype for when he got the belt, but
Right.
I believe they decided to go other ways because to this point, nameplates were kind of like a questionable thing. We know the big gold had the nameplate. The 10 pounds of gold had a spot for the nameplate, but a lot of the WWE championships did not because we could talk about the Hogan '86 where it was his face was in the middle that it was the big green. It was everybody was holding the title. Even with the Intercontinental, the one that everybody loves, didn't have a nameplate. Of course, people were
Right.
changing the strap to make it their own, right? But that's the first thing that we noticed on this belt, right? It had
I
the
believe
actual
Hogan's was the only one that actually made it to TV, right?
TV, correct? Yes. So
Hmm.
that's let's talk about that, right?
Right. Right.
And that's something unique to it because we saw that Reggie Parks and his name escaped me would have their property plate here a lot of times because you have the standard five plates and then you had the spot where the property plate goes, of course, after the snap box and before you get to the side plates. The butterfly tooling around it was standard for belts that time. And when I say butterfly tooling, I mean that's around the belts, right? But when
Hmm.
you look at this belt, you initially see what? The Winged Eagle. And I don't know if you heard
Absolutely.
Michael Call calling it the Winged Eagle Eagle Championship. He kept saying Eagle, right? And we know that the eagle is, symbolizes strength, power, prestige, everything
Freedom.
America. Yep.
America.
America, right?
Right.
And its wingspan. And I don't know if it's doing its justice, but you could always tell where the wings were no matter how you looked at it, right?
Right.
The etching of it, the main focus of this belt is a wing eagle. Hence why we call it the Wing Eagle Championship, right? But
Hmm.
something that a lot of people don't know, unlike modern belts, there were fixed side plates. We're used to the removable side plates. We're used to, you know, different styles. These are just similar side plates on this belt that show wrestlers doing different wrestling moves, right? And if you look all the way at the far left, you see the burst pattern where the WWF logo is prominent on the top. So without a
Yep.
shadow of a doubt, you know this is a wrestling championship, which was Reggie Parks always wanted to put a stamp on it that you had no doubt that this was for wrestling, right? Of course, a
Absolutely.
lot of the wrestlers on the side were dressed in classic gear, just the trunks, the boots, and things like that, doing various wrestling moves. But we got WWE very similar on both sides, minus This one has the oval shape on the outside to curve it off, and this one has the flat one, right?
Absolutely.
Of course, the belt is smaller in size. And when I say smaller in size compared to a lot of titles we have now, and smaller than the big gold, right? And the wing eagle, of course, we've had different straps, but this is one of those Mandela effects. A lot of people seem to think, oh, everybody had a different color strap. There's only a few wrestlers that had a different color strap. Brother Hugh, who do you remember
Yes,
having
sir.
a different color strap? Let me see if you remember this. Was this the Mandela effect for you?
As far as the strap, I mean, I guess at this point it did matter. I didn't really care for it because I didn't really like the guy as a wrestler. But
Okay.
when you think of strap color, first person you think
Hmm.
about is Ultimate Warrior.
Uh
He had every color for every season,
huh. That's a good way of looking at
basically.
it.
Of course, I'm a fan favorite of the white one, the white strap. That purple and the blue was out there, but I get what he was trying to do. Add his own little touch to it, matches his crazy, his vibrant colors, um,
Hmm.
high energy. So like it represented him well at the time. But hey, I wasn't really a fan of the guy, but hey, it worked. It worked. Also, you had Sergeant Slaughter who took the belt off of him. He ended up having the purple strap as a transition champion. I'm not sure how long. It wasn't that long though. But before they went back to the black strap. But
I
yeah,
remember, yeah, he was on
those are two
WWE
people that
magazine, or was it
yeah,
WWE magazine, or it was a one of those magazines. He actually did a photo shoot with the purple strap,
right,
and
right.
oh, we're gonna get to this. A title held by Hogan, Andre, and Flair, which are icons in wrestling that you can't say didn't make their mark with this championship, right?
Right, right.
And even when it says, "I'm gonna learn something tonight," the Big Eagle is the goat, but you can't deny the beauty of the Wing
Let's
Eagle,
talk
and
about it. Let-
we're gonna
We're
talk
gonna
about
get
that,
back
right?
to that.
Because he said a white strap, and a white strap appears, right?
Ooh,
Now, every belt has a story.
you got that Joe
Something
Hendry
about
effect.
it, something about it on the white strap, just to me, made a big difference. Now, the difference in this one and the one I have on a black strap, this does not have a belt tip. I actually got this at the deal. And
Hmm.
yes, I remember Ultimate Warrior having it, but it was always something about a white strap when it came to a solid gold belt. Just seemed like it's sung to me more. You know what I mean? Before we start
Hmm.
having the standard of a white strap being attached to the women's division, sometimes the white strap was always something different. And as you can see, championship still on the side, same plate designs. This is a lot cleaner, a lot shinier. It is 4 millimeter in thickness. It doesn't have a curve as much, but whenever you look at a wing eagle, and I'm gonna give people some things to remember. You heard me say this about the big gold. Whatever big gold
Hmm.
you think you want, you probably don't know that you want that one, right? And I'm gonna just
Absolutely.
sit on this design for a little bit because when you look at the winged eagle, there of course were some major differences. We had a dual plated version, right? When it comes to the
Hmm.
dual plated version, when you see that versus the all gold, the dual plated actually stands out a lot more. One thing is where it says heavyweight is all gold now. The globe is a lighter blue. The dual plating behind the eagle's wings just scream more and make you pay attention more to the wings. You can see the actual wrestlers on both sides doing the type of moves that they're doing. And the word wrestling champion is actually closer on that one than it is on the regular plated one. Also, when you look down, you can see the globes are a little bit more prominent next to where it says wrestling champion. And a
Hmm.
lot of people don't pay attention. His feet are actually touching the words on only the W on that one. I think it was either the W or the G. I think his feet only touched. It barely
Yeah.
touched on the W like it did on the other one. But this dual plated one, or even around the main plate where the sunburst pattern is, like underworld, you can clearly see the dual plating shining through.
Right.
So when we talk about these belts, people gotta start thinking, okay, which one do I actually want? You can clearly see the wrestlers' moves on the side, what they're doing. I think one's doing like a clothesline, one's on a grapple. You can see it with the dual plated. The dual plated adds a different layer of intensity and a different layer of awe to it. Is that the best way to say it?
That's probably the best way to put it. It's the one that
Because if
started
you
it
don't
off, right? The dual
right.
plate.
And if you don't look at a championship as like, oh, I need that, or that's the important person, that's the best wrestler of this whatever I'm watching. That's what this belt should distinguish. And back in 1988, when it was debuted, it was clearly a step up from the belt that we had before. It
Hmm.
definitely said, I'm a real American, fight for what's right. You know what I mean? Because the prominent
Yeah,
eagle, the globe, you see what I did there, right?
I see it. I see it.
And I know we talked about the design, and I don't think I can talk about the design enough. I want to
Hmm.
point out a couple of the differences, right? Now, currently, you can only buy from WWE Shop the version that has WWE on it. They took the F out, of course. So to get one with an F, you got to either find somebody that has one, pay a pretty penny, or get a make it or make it. If you look at, I'm gonna keep pointing out the wings. On different versions, the globe is a different color. You can see what I was talking about the wrestler name at the bottom, but also the bars. The bars are different. On the earlier versions, the bars were twisted. The later versions, the bars are straightened out. And when I say
Hmm.
twisted, I'll hold up the black version. As it goes up, it started to twist.
Yeah, it has a little twist to it.
Some bars were even attached. I mean, detached from this. This is actually one that the bars are actually attached.
So it's
And
basically a
also,
stacked plate, right?
yes, if it was a stacked plate. And I don't know if
Hmm.
you can see the difference. This one actually has a more twist to it on the bar because this is more closely to the original version where the
Right.
actual bar twists. But as you see, my globe is a little bit different. Let me turn them around so you can see the difference. The globe is a little lighter. I shouldn't say different on the black strap than it is the blue strap. And I feel
Right.
like
Right.
this blue on here was more reminiscent of the white strap intercontinental that was that blue. It was a little darker. So
Absolutely.
even though, yeah, and I know I got both of them on here, I kind of feel like, how Triple H, the Big Eagle and the Big, but we ain't gonna talk about that. Now, Hugh,
Yes.
did I just lose you?
Oh no. Yeah, you lost me for a second. Go ahead.
Okay. Despite
I
the
got you back.
iconic status that this Wing Eagle has had, right?
Hmm.
It had a lot of quick changes. Like you talked about Sergeant Slaughter dropping it, even Ric Flair, Andre the Giant, they held it for shorter periods, right? But
Hmm.
looking back and knowing what you know, did this help or hurt this title?
Um, it didn't necessarily hurt it. You gotta think at that time you had the guys you just named. They were all top stars, right? So I
Hmm.
see if they were all pretty much on the same level. You see, you have that, like I talked about it before. You have levels to each superstar, right? Or so superstardom. Those guys were at your top. They were your top guys. Then you had like your mid card or your mid level top tier guys, right? Then you go to your mid card. Then you go to your lower card, right? All those guys were top guys. They were well known in their territories. Then they moved on nationally to become huge superstars. So it made sense at that point in time to go ahead and put it on those type of guys. Your Andre the Giant, well known. Hogan, we already know how Hogan was. Ric Flair, one of the dirtiest players in the game, right? That's what he was known
Hmm.
for, right? Ultimate Warrior, one of those guys that just came with a lot of intensity. You didn't really necessarily see that from those type of wrestlers back in their time in the golden era. He was nonstop the whole match. Randy Savage, what can you not say about him, man? In ring, he was phenomenal. On the mic, phenomenal, right? So
Hmm.
like these it didn't necessarily hurt it because you had top tier guys that knew how to make this title feel prominent or feel like important.
Feel like the most important championship, the most
Right,
important
right.
world champion. And it's crazy because Randy Savage in '92, I think he had the longest reign out of
Yeah.
everybody because it went from Ric Flair, Randy Savage, back to Ric Flair, and then Bret Hart on his first run. And then that was when in WrestleMania he lost to the Yokozuna, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure because I think Randy Savage, and I might have to be fact checked by um, Justin, but I think Randy Savage had the longest reign, not combined like anybody else, because when Bret won it, he carried it to WrestleMania, right? So then we
Yes,
had
he did.
Hulk Hogan, Yokozuna, back to Bret Hart, Bob Backlund for a pit stop, Diesel, then Bret Hart. Then we get to the point where I think this is what really made me, as a wrestling fan, pay attention. Right?
Okay.
We get the Shawn Michaels and the Bret Hart. We can talk about all the controversy related to it, but when these guys held this championship, it felt like it was a belt made for them because we went from the larger life superstars to now, you know, the more I want to say typical guys, the more grounded. We seeing these guys grow up in front of our eyes. Hogan was
You
already
went from the
established,
golden. You went from the golden era to the new generation. So
correct,
yeah,
and that's where I believe that even when you get like a Psycho Sid, a Undertaker mixed in, um, Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, and then we get to Stone Cold. It was like, wow, this was a perfect time to be a wrestler, and what better iconic symbol to attach to these lineage than this belt? Let me put the white one
right,
down because we're gonna talk about the
all
black
right,
one for a while.
right,
Seeing seeing these wrestlers with it, and even when you had the counterpart of the big gold across the street,
hmm,
it still felt like they were on equal playing field. They were equal world champions, right? This is the most important champion, but it was things being done to set this apart. Even the hot shotting of this belt still felt like it was relevant to the story. Even having the multiple wrestlers have multiple reigns in 1 year, like in '92, it still felt like it was so important. I wanted to continue
right,
watching it. You know what I
right,
mean? So that's where I think that a lot of people are attached to this championship because of those moments, that feeling, and that investment they had to it. Because we got
right.
pulled in. Remember how much we wanted Bret Hart to win. And the people that didn't want Bret Hart to win wanted Bret Hart to lose. They may not have been a Shawn Michaels fan, but they just wanted him to lose, right? And then it was
Right.
like a thing, and I remember saying, why did Psycho Sid have it? Then Happy the Undertaker had it. You know what I mean? But it was like, oh, Bret got the belt back. Not a big deal. But it felt like it was a rise and fall of emotions throughout this time. And that's what I believe that a lot of people are attached to the Wing Eagle will continue to say that the Wing Eagle is part of their history because this is the belt that made us the wrestling fan. This is
Hmm.
the belt that really we can go back and remember these stories and say, this was my championship. This is my moment. This is what I remember because this is, like he said, look who held it. You don't talk about wrestling without talking about Hogan, Andre the Giant, or Flair.
The top guys. Top guys.
Right. Um,
Now, I heard you
like
keep
the
saying something
photos.
about Bret Hart. I heard you kept saying something about Bret Hart. Now, during his reigns, and also there was a couple of other people that held it. There was something not special. Let's say it was an imperfection in the title at that point in time. Do you know exactly what that was?
Are you talking about when the the wings got clipped?
Yeah, man, they snapped the wings on her.
It was a short period of time where I believe it was the left side, right? Well, if you're
Yep.
looking at it, it would be if you're looking at it, it's the right, but it was the left side of the belt was clipped, right?
Right.
And Bret Hart famously took pictures to try to cover it up. He sometimes covered it with his hand, but as you can see with the picture on the left, you can't deny that his wings got clipped, and
Right.
that's the design flaw of this belt, and I believe that's why the big eagle was made the way it was because yes, the protruding wings look great, but then when you look at it, you can tell something is wrong. Look at it over
Right.
Yokozuna's shoulders. It looks like, oh, wait, into the belt. Your eyes automatically drawn there, and because of this picture, we know technology was different. The globe kind of looked like it's black in this picture.
It does. Yeah, you're
If
right.
you look at it,
It might
and
be off. Yeah.
all is sweat. And if you look closely, you can see what I mean by the bars. So this belt been through some things, and it might take a little bit to fix it, but that's some I don't want to call it belt abuse, but I believe it happened because the belt got dropped, and it took a while to replace it because the King of Belts was making these by hands. These weren't machine made. He was making these by hand. Um, Speaking of which, I hated when Shawn Michaels beat Bret at Mania when Bret had the match won because of the time ended and then they went into overtime. We're gonna leave it at that because that's one of those moments. I'm not saying I'm Shawn Michaels or Bret Hart. I'm saying that they are the reason I paid attention to this championship. They are the reason that this is where my attachment is because that's what
Hmm.
it was. Um, Wing Eagle and Big Eagle were my first championships. I
That's
ordered them in
big gold, big
2015.
gold.
Oh, Big
Wing
Gold.
Eagle
I'm
and big
sorry.
gold.
I'm
Hmm.
so used to saying Big Eagle. Um,
Those are the
wait a minute.
iconic ones, the most known
Was
as
that
the
the
most
longest
prestigious
run?
titles at the time.
I thought Randy Savage. That was that over the course of a year, or was that the combined reign? Because I don't remember him having it that long. I thought he had
I
it.
think that has to be the combined reign.
Yeah, it's probably the combined. Because I
Let me
thought
double
in
check.
'92 he had the longest reign of that year, but that might be his combined for the times that he had it. Because Randy Savage had it twice, correct?
Yeah,
Because he got it after it was vacated. He dropped it to Hogan, and then he beat Ric Flair for it, right?
right. Remember, he had to customize it too to fit him. Because at that point in
Yes.
time, it was on Hogan when he first got it. It was on Hogan at that point in time, and it was a bigger belt, and it had, of course, the snaps on it. At one
Hmm.
point, they went back and they added more snaps to it because he's a smaller guy. And
Yep.
then that didn't work, so they ended up going to Velcro. If you can see on
And
the
that was.
picture on your left as you're looking at the screen, you'll see the winged eagle. You can see that there's no buttons, no snaps on there at all.
Mhm.
Even to the one with him and Miss Elizabeth. Miss Elizabeth. Good lord.
Miss Elizabeth. Because, of
Yeah,
course,
there's no
Randy was a
snaps on
smaller
it.
gentleman than
Right.
Hulk Hogan, and they had made the belt to fit. Because they did the same thing with the Undisputed belt, where they had to make it bigger for Brock. Um, but the thing is, with that was the first time I think they experimented with Velcro on that belt.
That was one ring. That was one ring.
I
371.
thought, was that his first one?
Let me double check that. No, second.
Yeah, that was his
No,
first ring.
that was the first one.
Yeah, because it lasted over a year, right?
Yeah,
This is why we need Hollywood, because
yep,
he
that
would
was
have
the
been
first
able
one.
to tell us it was he won it at Mania. Did
Because
he
I mean, that
drop
was
it the following year,
yeah,
Mania?
that was right at Mania
Was it
9, and then he lost it at Mania 10.
was it a
No,
whole
I'm
that was a
tripping.
whole
No, I'm tripping. I'm tripping. Yeah, he beat Ted DiBiase, and then he lost it to Hogan the next year in
okay. So
'89.
he kept it for a whole year.
So yeah, was it? Yeah, 371
See,
from
he
March the
said
8th.
that was the between Mania 4 and 5.
That was 4 and 5. Yeah, my fault.
Uh, okay, thank you, sir.
I was
His
thinking
second
5 because he
rating was
said
100.
Hollywood.
Yeah, because his second rating in '92 was the longest of that year. That's what I'm thinking
Yeah,
about.
yeah.
So it's crazy because we can sit here, but look what this is doing. It's causing us to go back down our memory lane and see how much we really remember as we attach to this championship. And I'm gonna say
Hmm.
this about it: even though it was retired in '98, when Stone Cold Steve Austin was awarded the Big Eagle, we're still buying these replicas. We're still going after it. It's still a topic of conversation as much as the big gold, probably more than the NWA World Heavyweight Championship, the 10 pounds of gold. It seems like something about this design just keeps coming back. Even to the point when we saw that vignette that Cody was like, oh, one night only. Everybody was like, it's got to be the Wing Eagle. It's got to be the Wing Eagle. And I'll be honest with you, I would have much rather. Now, you're going to appreciate I'm going to say this. When that
What's
got
that?
announced, I would have much rather seen this version come back. One the white strap. It would have fit his character much better, or gave him a custom strap with that belt. Now, of course, you
I
wanted to
think
sell
they.
replicas, but
I was
you
about to
don't
say. I
want
think
this.
they went with the black strap because it's the classic look.
Mhm.
And like you said, that's the most prominent color that they've been selling over the years, right? So it
Yeah, the
only makes
black
sense to bring that one back. Yeah.
WWE shop did release the blue and the purple, and the white as a you can choose which one recently, probably within like the
Hmm.
last year or so. But if Cody would have
Right.
brought this back, I think it would have been some confusion because they've clearly said the white are for the women, the white strap are the women's division. So I get that you didn't want to confuse it, but how cool would it have been if Cody would have came out with this or a gold strap? I want to say red or blue. I think we're destroyed with red and blue straps because of the universal title. I don't think anybody ever wants to see a belt on one of those straps. And plus the tag belts that's behind me. Which
Well,
side are they
I
going?
think they
Yes,
made the
sir.
right move with the black strap, like I said, because it's a classic look. And alluding to what you said with the white strap, yes, it could get confused with the women's title because it is a small title too. But to be honest, that particular title is associated more with Ultimate Warrior. You see what I'm saying? And just Ultimate Warrior. He wasn't, to be
Oh,
honest, he wasn't the greatest champion to hold that winged eagle. When you talk about the greatest, the top guys, you talking about your Andres, your Hogans, your Bret Harts, your Shawn Michaels. They all had the black strap. You know what I mean? So it only makes sense to come back with that black. It might
but as
look,
we talk about
hey,
this,
that white strap does look better, but you got to go old fashioned.
let me ask you this question: who do you associate with the white strap and the Carnell?
Oh, come on, man. You know who I'm gonna say. Besides Dolph Ziggler, I'm going with Miz. I'm going with Cody Rhodes.
Before that, nope, nope. Before that, I'm talking about the
That's
first
what I'm
time we
going
saw.
with. I'm not going with Shawn
No, no,
Michaels.
no,
No,
no. I want to prove a point to you. You're not gonna say Shawn Michaels.
no,
Why are you not gonna say Shawn Michaels for the white strap and the
because
Carnell?
to be honest, I don't even remember him having a white strap.
Right.
I'm
So
gonna be
that's
real
my
with you.
point.
I'm gonna be real with you. Yeah.
That's my point. So let's take that right. So
Hmm.
if you think about it, when Cody Rhodes brought back the white, it was nugget texture IC belt, right?
Hmm.
How many people really remember Shawn Michaels holding a white strap in the Carnell? They remember the ladder match with him and Razor Ramon. It was two black straps, right? They
Right.
remember his
Right. Right.
feud with Shawn Michaels. You remember the DX stuff. Nobody really remembers that small part. Do you think that if
It
he would have
sure
brought
did.
back the white, they would have said, "Oh, that's the Ultimate Warrior belt"?
Maybe, but nah. I don't. Nah. Not really. No.
Mm, mm-mm. No.
No.
Okay.
I mean, I'm probably biased because I don't really like the Ultimate Warrior like that. I wasn't really paying attention to him at that time. But to be honest, no.
Okay. I understand. But
Hmm.
when we talk about the wing eagle, right? And I
Yeah.
know a lot of people keep clamoring to it, and wanting it because it's a smaller belt design, and our belts have gotten bigger. They've gotten a little bit more customizable, a little bit
Right.
more because of the side plates. It's gotten a little bit more recognizable off the break. Do you think in this era, if this belt was to come back, and I'm just gonna put it over my shoulder, do you think this would scream WWE champion to somebody that knows nothing about wrestling, or somebody clicking through Netflix and saw this being held up versus the current WWE Undisputed Championship? But recognize
Nah.
that this is for.
Nah. Is it the only reason you would know that that's the world championship is because you're actually reading it and it says it real big across the front of the plate, right? At this
Mhm.
point in this era, in modern times, it's all about branding, right? That big undisputed title, the WWE logo is front and center. You can't miss it. That's one of the major reasons why WWE is taking everybody's money right now, right? They, they have titles in each of the sports and entertainment organizations out there, the MLB, NFL, NBA, NHL, even through college, right? That's
Uh-huh.
why. That's why I mean, like honestly, that winged eagle, I couldn't see that being like brought back, permanently nowadays because it just doesn't make sense from a marketing and branding standpoint. We're here to make money at the end of the day. It's a nice design, but we're here to make money. Throw that big logo right in their face. Triple H said it when he introduced that Raw logo, right?
Hmm.
In the little vignette that he just dropped maybe like a day or two ago. It's all about logo. It's all about the branding. That's what it's all about nowadays. We're here to make that money. Straight
So
up.
I'm gonna give you my take. What I was expecting to see was this belt. We all knew it was gonna be the Wing Eagle, right? We knew that.
Hmm.
I was expecting a white strap. I was bare minimum expecting the logo to be the current WWE logo here on the top.
Hmm. Hmm.
I was expecting the globe to be a little bit bigger to give it a modern feel. of what the
Hmm.
globes look like under the Triple H era. And I was
Right.
expecting this to be gold with just black letters, kind of like how we have the
The
Undisputed
reverse.
Championship. You know how to, yeah,
Yeah.
like how even on the current one, it has silver letters. But I was thinking, okay, if they do gold with black letters or something like that for the bottom part where it would say heavyweight champion and take this middle part out, but still keep the eagle, still keep the
Hmm.
bars, still keep everything prominent, but just give it a modern feel. And when I say a modern feel, imagine the WWE logo, the current one on the top, slightly bigger globe, right?
Yeah.
The kind of the way that the globes look on all the WWE Championship on the side plates. And then I was expecting Cody Rhodes' American Nightmare right here on the
Hmm.
property plate portion. I was expecting that to be his logo. And the reason I'm saying that, you couldn't sell that as the Cody Rhodes Signature Series belt. Think about it. That could have been the ploy right there. Imagine an American Nightmare symbol here. They're still the same, whether it's dual plated or just gold, right? Same
Hmm.
thing. WWF logo. I'm sorry, WWF logo replacing these to give it a modern feel. The globe a little bit bigger. Championship written similar to what we did, so that way that the eagle can still be a prominent part, and make the globe bigger and put the logo at the top. I think that would have printed money itself, and that's me. Just my quick take on how you could have made the wing eagle more modernized and bring it to the forefront to make it a Cody Rhodes signature series by still paying homage to the original, but giving it a modern feel. Sort of what he's
I feel
done
like they
for.
still. I feel like they still can do that at any time. But I think they wanted to get that nostalgia pop for the old school fans. That's what it was all about. You saw everybody went crazy once they saw the box open. It was like, oh my God. You saw the gold glare. Winged Eagle, Winged Eagle, Winged Eagle. It doesn't even really matter because he can always come out with a custom belt or a custom Winged Eagle signatures series, and it's going to sell no matter what. So why not double up on it? All right, we could bring the old school one back. People going to want that. And then later on, when we drop this Cody Rhodes one, they're going to have to spend double because they're going to want that one too. That's the way I'm looking at it. I get what you're saying with the more modern feel, but it's not a permanent thing. It was a one-time only thing. You see what I'm saying? Now I see if they would have brought it back permanently and kept it on TV, and we're going to defend it, this and that, whatever, whatever. I know we said something about KO early. I'm not sure if that's true, but we'll see. But it just doesn't make sense. Let's rock.
So
Let's take this money.
Cliff says the WWE logo isn't necessary. W has been a household name before they were known as the WWE. think the I think the logo is necessary only because it's been the identity of the belts. Like even as something as simple as how the Intercontinental title has it. What's my Intercontinental title? It's very small in the middle, or it's upside downwards, and even on
Come
the
on, Tonka Lord.
United States champion. I know
Yeah,
it really is upside downwards. Look, it's right above me. It's upside downwards.
come on, bro.
You can't tell
We
because
know
of
better.
glare. I know. But even with the United States, it's small at the top. It's like a subtle nod to say this is our whatever championship. So the
Right.
WWE isn't taking over like it did on the network because the focal point on the United States Championship is the word United States. The focal point of Intercontinental is the globes, and then you see Intercontinental, so you know it's something representing different parts of the world. Whereas though the Wing Eagle, it literally was a eagle. The globe is small, and you got to read that it's the champion. Like if you wasn't like if I just showed you this, you wouldn't be able to see what the top of it says until you came up close on it, and you could see the WWF logo to know that it was the World
Right.
Wrestling Federation heavyweight champion.
You might have to add
So
some color or something to that to make it pop a little bit more if you want to make it, more marketable nowadays.
right,
If you wanted to use that belt.
and that's why I
But
said if
still,
you
I
put the
mean,
current
I
logo,
get the fact that it's a well-known brand, but you still got to smack them in the face with it. Just like Nike, they throw the check real nice and big on everything, right?
mm-hmm,
Why not do it with the
and don't,
WWE?
and it's always right there. It's subtle.
Hmm. Hmm.
So even with that, now I'm gonna address this question. He says, "Who made your championships?" I see it says WWF. So I stated earlier,
Yeah.
if you want to get a WWF one, you're probably going to buy from an individual, as in somebody that already has one that's had it for a while, and they're going to charge you a pretty penny. I think the last I saw one going for was like $750 was like the minimum because they know they're rare to find the ones with the WWF. There are makers that will make them, and it's crazy because Ben Walker was posting this on Championship Belt Brothers for a really decent price because it did
Hmm.
not have a belt tip. And I said, hey, I always wanted one on a white strap. Didn't really care about the tip does matter here. Don't calm down, don't get mad. So I wound up getting this from that maker. And it has two flaws with it. One not having a belt tip, but I'll show you the backing. You can see they're kind of protruding. They're kind of larger than what you normally would have on the back, the bolts. Now, the other one, I actually brought it from a
Now,
sale
what you can,
group.
I was about to say, what
Oh,
you can do is you can drop your send us a DM at championship culture underscore on IG, and we can definitely send you in the right direction to
hmm
get you the titles
my
that you need.
WWF one
Yeah,
because
that's
that's
championship culture underscore. Go ahead.
this one came from Facebook too as well, and I can get you all of that stuff. But if you want one with the F, you're gonna have to get it made because you're not gonna be able to find it now. If you just want a good replica from WWE shop, understand it will be probably as close to as ring use, but it's gonna cost you a little bit more because they haven't been really running sales. I think the base price of the belts is $399 now, 449, 499 and up. Um, and that's without the F logo. Sometimes the F makes more sense. Like I couldn't get a big eagle that said WWE because I feel like that's always had the F on it for me. So
Yeah,
hence why I have that one. Um, we definitely made them a couple $100 on Kobe sayings for. See,
yeah.
he said it.
We
So
know
Triple H,
Trips
if
is
you're
he's
listening,
listening. No, you
yes.
know he's listening.
Oh yeah. If we see that comes out, look, say his name and he appears. I believe in Ben Walker. He definitely appeared as soon as I said his name.
He
He must
did.
have
He
heard it.
did.
So that was Ben. You remember this belt? Let me see if he remembers. Ben, you remember this one? I know Ben has a couple. Let's see if he remembers this belt. Um, so Hugh, I know you have one too, sitting there in the background. What's every belt has a story? What's the story behind yours?
Nothing. It's just a belt.
That's it. That's the whole story.
No, 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 no. Actually, I got this from some good brother that I know. Quite a handsome brother. Um, some guy by the name of the guy, Brandon Guy.
Uh-huh.
He let me hold him for a while, and I just kind of just took it up to be honest, because I that's just me. Um, but no, all seriousness, I had the liberty of just having it and making some modifications to it, playing around with it, just inspecting it, checking out the details. I That belt right there was basically, let's say, my it was my belt 101 class course, crash course, right?
Uh-huh.
I took that belt, literally studied everything about it, how it's made, whatever, whatever, and from there I just kept going and going. Now the collection is growing,
That's
thanks
a
to a
two
certain
millimeter,
individual.
right?
Right. Yeah, that's the 2 millimeter one.
And this is a
But
four
yeah,
millimeter. And when we talk about millimeter, of course, we're talking about the thickness. But what I do want to
the
ask the people
thickness.
in the comments, what are your thoughts on the Wing Eagle? I want to know what's your thoughts on the Wing Eagle, and what was your thoughts when Cody brought it back? Because I see mixed reviews. I have my personal opinion, but I want to know what everybody's thought is. Um, he says, "I can't wait." Wait a minute. So the founder says, "I can't wait in 10 years when y'all talk about the 3 count trivia championship. Why I got to be
It
three
won't.
years? I mean,
It
10
won't take
years.
that long. It won't take
It
that
won't.
long, bro.
What we talking
You know,
about when we
because
have our tag team belts? When we
yeah,
get our tag team belts,
when we double up, you
when
know.
I get my red
That's what I'm
strap, he get
saying.
his blue strap. Well, I'm taking the red. I'm taking the red. So I just want to hear what y'all Wing Eagle thoughts are. I know Marcus likes the spinner. I'm sorry, that's not Marcus. No, that is Marcus. Marcus loves the spinner more than anything else. Um, so here's an interesting take. Cliff said the Wing Eagle is tied for first place with the big gold of all time. Um, See, to me, the wing eagle is what why we became wrestling fans. It seemed like, well, we were wrestling fans, but this made us into true wrestling fans because of the stories attached to this belt. Between the matches, between the people holding it, because no matter who you liked, at some point in that era, your favorite was holding this championship. Your favorite was having a story to tell. Like we said, whether it was Randy Savage for his year-long reign from Mania to Mania, if it was Ted DiBiase buying the belt, if it was Hulk Hogan getting it back, the Ultimate Warrior being a double champion, um, the villain Sergeant Slaughter, because he wasn't a good guy, he was the villain at the time, right?
Yeah, yeah, right.
You know, or the Undertaker with the power of his urn. It seems like whoever you liked at that time became the champion, and that's who you cheered for. That's who you were behind. Um, so it's so crazy to see that now here it is 2024 and a belt that's been gone since 98. It's still a topic of conversation, still buzzworthy, still gets people going. I still prefer the big eagle over the winged eagle, but that's
Hmm.
just my personal preference. Got a shout out to Jesse who says, hell yeah, Russell Around. Much love from Ringside Resident Podcast. Wing Eagle is unmatched. Now I gotta ask you, why would
Ooh,
you say the Wing Eagle is unmatched? Because if I go get this big eagle that's been staring at me
come
this
on,
whole show,
man, Jesse,
it
you got him
might
started.
it might hurt some people's feelings. But I appreciate the love. But that's the whole point of this show because everybody seems to love this Wing Eagle.
The Winged Eagle.
Um,
I, we might have to revisit Winged Eagle versus Big Gold.
it's
I
good.
see a
It's
lot
in
of
a
people's.
big
That's about the second time it's been mentioned today.
because we did Wing
So
Eagle versus Big Eagle. It might have to be Wing Eagle versus Big Gold because they were the champions at the time. One was in
yeah,
WCW, one was
yep.
in, and don't forget the King of the Belts actually made the WCW championship the Ron Simmons belt because Ric Flair came to WWE with the big gold and they needed a
Mm,
replacement belt. Hence why the side plates are very similar. He also made
mm,
the tag team belt that everybody seems to love, which became our WWE tag team championships, that mold
right,
that everybody
right.
loves. He also did the classic Intercontinental. Hence why a lot of his stamp is on there, and we can tell that was from the same maker. Um, so Prototype made a good comment to you here. He said the Wing Eagle would be his favorite if Cade held it. I think that might be true. That's probably the reason. I'm pretty sure of it. Because if Dolph
Nah, I don't know
Ziggler
about
came
that.
back and won this belt and was carrying it, he would love it.
I
So
mean, it wouldn't be my favorite, but yeah, I would enjoy it a little bit
listen,
more.
I was disappointed in seeing Cody with the WWE Shop Championship instead of the WWF Championship. I know legally they can't show it, but it would have been nice. So let me just say this. I don't know
We
if a
had that
lot of people
conversation
knows
earlier.
this. Yeah. So it's crazy because wrestlers will tell you they have multiple belts when they become
Hmm.
champion. They have a belt that they have to take on the road. They have a belt just for photo shoots, and they have a belt for coming to the ring. Sometimes they will get replicas to come to the ring, depending on what the segment is, or depending on what they're going to do. The crazy part is, I don't think they were prepared to have a Photoshop or a traveling belt. So of course they went with the replica of the WWE Wing Eagle because that's probably all they had available. Because it probably was a last minute audible that was called, or why would you produce a traveling belt if he's not going to use it? Why would you produce a photo belt when he's not going to use it? And that's not the first time we've seen a replica on TV. It's been a couple
Yeah,
different times. If you're an eagle eye viewer, you can tell the difference in the replica versus their elite series that they bring just for the ring. So it depends on what segments they're doing. And a lot of wrestlers' interviews will tell you that this is their traveling belt. This is their one that they take when they go on TVs. This is the one they take when they go through airports. This is the one that's just for TV. So they have multiple different ones for those reasons.
right, right.
Big Old is undefeated.
Hmm.
Sir, you were the one that liked the spinner.
That is true.
The Big Eagle is greater than a Wing Eagle, personally. Well, Justin.
There it is.
Well, Justin. Some might say you might not be old enough to have that conversation, but I'm gonna agree with you. So here's a good stat. Hogan, Macho Man, Sergeant Slaughter, Ric Flair, only WWE title reigns. Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart, Stone Cold, Undertaker, etc. All with a wing eagle. The best, hands down. And that's why I said a lot of people clamor to it because they're favorites. No matter out of that list, no matter if you like the dirtiest player in the game, if you were eating your vitamins, if you were ooh yeah, if you were shouting woo or for America, or he was the heel during that time, or you were singing "Sexy Boy" or talking about the best you were, the best there ever was, or you was just waiting for that glass to break or a gong. Your favorite held the title, and this is where us as wrestling fans now started to love wrestling. So, R, I'm gonna say one thing about that butterfly belt. It was
What you did
perfect
think
for the
about?
time that it was in. That's what I'm gonna say. It was perfect. Um, it was perfect for that time. I don't think it could have survived any other time frame, and I don't think it could have survived any other. I don't want to say era, but group of women who made it as special as it was. Alicia Fox, I was happy when she won it. I was mad when she messed up on a microphone talking about she's gonna be the Unified Divas Champion or something like that. She said, and I was like, "Oh, Alicia," but that's all I to say about that. But actually, that's an underrated belt because of people say it was just a butterfly. It looked like a Bratz toy, but
It did.
if you think about what we had at the time, we didn't have good looking belts. That was the era when we had the copper belt, the copper tag team. So they was trying some things based upon a different direction, and I think that was the belt that was the best that they could do at that time. Oh, okay, that's why. Because he was talking about the spinner. So he said the realness might have changed his mind on that one.
Hey,
So see, I don't hate this that the women's belt looked like the men's belt because I feel like it's equal playing field now. Because when the women's belt looks totally different than the men's, it kind of feels like because you might laugh at this. Think about how good the TNA Women's Championship was. The white on that white strap, and he went black and it had blue. Think about how
hmm
good that was, and it complemented the men's belt, but they were both equally good. But then you fast forward to some things, you look and you're like, why does that look just like that? Or why does that look like that? Or you couldn't do anything better. Like I'm calling you out, NWA. But I'm just gonna leave it at that. We ain't gonna
I
go too
second
far
you
down
with
that road.
that. It's
We ain't
all
gonna go
about
too.
equality nowadays. Yeah, that makes sense for me. Brandon issues once again, but as far as the level of quality, it makes sense.
Now I hated the
I don't
network
necessarily.
one.
Yeah, I didn't really like it at first, but it's
The
growing on me.
network was
It's
overkill.
growing on me.
When you have four of the
Yeah,
same belts, just different color, that was too much. I love how they do it
yeah,
now that the world title and the WWE look the same. The Intercontinentals look the same. The US, the North American, change the strap, add a little bit different color. I love that. I hated the network logo that all four of them looked exactly the same. Because,
right,
like,
right, right.
we know, let's call it what it is. Whoever's holding it is going to make it more important. When Roman had the Universal title, a blue strap meant more than the black WWE Championship. Or when Becky Lynch, whatever belt she was holding, was more important than the other belt on the other show, when she was either Raw or SmackDown champion. And plus, they kind of disrespected the women, just calling it that show champion. But the men got title names for their title. But we didn't diverted from this, but I'm okay with it. I'm not denying the age factor, but I'll probably still keep the same opinion if I was older. See, prototype, that's what I'm talking about. I said some people would say he's not old enough to know about this, but guess what? He old enough to go to YouTube and go down rabbit holes and see what he likes.
Hey,
Because does it stand up to the test of time? I will tell you this: some of the matches do. Some of them made some questionable decisions. Um, Cliff said, "My daughters love the butterfly belt. I brought them the toy version. And see, that's part of the reason what it was for.
that's
It was for
yeah,
appealing because we had the women's championship and then we had the Divas championship. And yes, the Divas championship default became the only women's title, but that was for that era. That's during that time. It did
right.
exactly what it needed to. And then fast forward, if your girls were younger at the time, you would say, all right, you want the red or the blue one? for the Raw SmackDown. They probably didn't care if it was Raw SmackDown. They probably knew what color they wanted. I want the red one. No, I want the blue one. It works. What color
because it can
strap
belt it.
would you like to see now that the white strap is for the women? I honestly think, and here I'm gonna let you answer this too. I think that we won't see any more colored straps. What say you, Hugh?
I mean, right now you probably won't. It just depends on the superstar, to be honest. It just really depends on the superstar and how big of a star they are. So, like for instance, you might see, I would say a Cody Rhodes, he might do like a red or blue strap, but
That's what I'm talking about.
he's
Custom
such he's
belts.
such a he's such a traditionalist. You know what I mean? Like that's the only other person I could really see maybe doing it. But honestly, the WWE at this point in time, it seems like it's gonna be white and black, which makes sense. Stick with the old Triple H. He's a historian, right? He's a classic guy, right? When it comes to wrestling,
Hmm.
stick with the black. Make it easy for him. Only time you're gonna see color straps is on the signature series.
And see, and that's what I'm thinking. I think we keep the black and white, and then when somebody gets a customized belt, like granted, the North American title is on brown. That's the only mid card title that's a different color. But I think that was such a throwback to our classic belt. That's why that
Mm,
stayed on a brown strap, and that gives it its
mm,
uniqueness to it. I think we're going to see strap colors when people start doing customized belts. Like, okay, yeah, we had the cruiserweight title that was
the crown
purple.
jewel,
The crown jewel was green. Um, you
special
might
occasion
see,
belts. Yeah.
yeah, special occasions like when they go to the different cities, they have belts that theme. That's what we'll see 'em. Like, what was the one that was blue, orange, and white? That was the last one of the last reviews. Or like the Cleveland one was orange and brown. It was for that city. I think we'll start to see specialized straps. I think the days of us seeing different color straps are gone, unfortunately, except for those type of belts. You would sell more belts if the men and women look different. Everyone wouldn't buy two belts just because they different color strap. So let me ask you this: because when we look at the men, when we look at Raw and SmackDown, you clearly know which set of belts belong to which side. Like, I'm gonna tell you something really crazy. I'm actually toying with getting the women's world title before I get the men's world title because I think that it looks better on the white strap. So I get what you're saying, but I'm not. I'm eventually wind up with the men's and the women's world title. I just think I'm about the women's first because I just like how that looks. It just it just looks it just hits different. What say you, Hugh?
I mean, it's possible. I wouldn't really know until it actually happens, right? It's one of those things, to be honest. I mean, we had it at one point in time back in the ruthless aggression era, like the Divas era, like, but I think the way WWE is now, or way wrestling is right now in general, is is moving more towards like just being simple, more simple, but keeping everything the same. And it's just kind of like, look, you keep pushing with that, and it makes sense branding wise and marketing wise, honestly, just to keep it the same. It's easier for everybody. It's just easier for everybody. Easier for presentation. It's too much going on with certain types of belts, and then plus you that goes into like you can go and do more with customized belts later on, and just create customized belts if you want a different look, and that can cater to certain superstars even more. So you can make more money off of it that way.
But see, LA Knight just had his name written on a black strap. It just said LA Knight in white. And they really didn't customize it. The strap was just different. So I don't know if that would you consider that a different color strap or like I when they just do like, oh, let me just write your name on it, like what they do with the signature series. They just write the name all over it. Because it really didn't, unless you was really an eagle eye viewer, you really couldn't tell what it said. Like if I'm just turning in, like why you got white stripes on his belt? What's the deal with that? Unlike
Mm,
when MJF made the
the AEW
international
champ
belt into
on the international.
the American Championship. I'm gonna address this comment. You, this is made for you. He said, "You think they'll make a winged eagle a logo belt?"
Not anytime soon, no. I think it stays the way it is. Going right back to what we said earlier, it's a nostalgia act. You could bring it back every once in a while to get that pop,
Mhm.
that classic feel. But nah, we're gonna stick with these belts for a while.
So would you like to see LA Knight? Would you like to see what LA Knight did and had their logo on the strap? I wouldn't,
I
because
mean,
we got
signature series.
side plates. We got side plates.
Yeah, that's the whole
Like
purpose
not
of it.
being
Yeah.
funny, we got side plates. Like putting it on there, it doesn't translate well to TV, and I didn't want to go run and get a belt because it had that on it. Like the only one I regret not getting was the Eddie Guerrero um, undisputed championship. Remember, because the strap looked
Oh yeah,
like his
yeah.
pants that he wore. That was that iconic look that even Sasha Banks did a tribute to. I would much rather see that than just a name written on there.
Hmm.
See, Cliff gets it. He said he do want the women's hood on the right strap. That one does. And you pointed
It's
out to
nice.
me when he was like, "Do you see the details?" I was like, "What are you? Oh, I see what you mean."
It's just hit harder.
Yes. Cool to have similar belt design. Shows the women can be just as a big star as the men. Example A,
There it
Rhea
is.
Ripley, just as over as Roman and Cody, probably. So before you address that, I'm gonna say this. Well, I love the fact that they're on equal playing field because let's say you need somebody on a marquee, and no matter who they are, if they're holding the same belt, it just looks good. Think about
Hmm.
that pose that Rhea Ripley would do with the belt. And Damian Priest copied her pose because it looked cool. Like he didn't know what to do when he was champion. Remember, he was standing there holding it the same way she
He
was
showing up didn't.
because
Right.
it looked cool, right? Um, so that's what I'm saying about when they are on equal playing field. It just looks cool when they go to places. It looks like, oh, she's a big deal. She's the champion. I might not know nothing about wrestling, but you see somebody walk in with that belt, you're like, oh, that's a big deal. What say you, Hugh?
Yeah, makes sense to me. I mean, like you said, we talked about it earlier, just equality. It puts them on the same level as the guys. Back in the day, the guys was always just a little bit more, or a lot more at certain points in times over than the women. It puts them on that equal playing field. Like you said, Rhea Ripley is just as big as a star as a Roman Reigns or Cody Rhodes. You send them anywhere, and that title is there, and it's the mirror image of the men's title. Oh yeah, it's equally important. So yeah, it
And
makes
she
sense what
sold
you said,
out.
Justin.
What you call it? Faster than Cody, didn't
She
she?
did. She did.
Her tickets sold out for the fan. What was it? Fan X. That what you call
Fanatics
it?
in New York. Yeah,
Fanatics. She sold
yeah.
her tickets faster than Cody did. And I was like, oh. And remember,
Hmm.
Becky Lynch was all over Raw. She was the top star of Raw for what, a whole year plus
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
when they didn't have a world champion. It was Becky, which I love that you know. And now in modern wrestling, we're getting to the point it's just good wrestling. It doesn't have to be men's or
Right,
women's division,
right.
especially with these titles that WWE has been introducing. It feels like it's at any time I'm going to get something special,
Hmm.
and at any time, and like New Japan has started doing it where they having the women close the show. TNA had done it for a while, and they have been mixing it in that the women can open or close the show. It didn't always have to be in the mid card. Um, I wish other promotions would do that too because sometimes those matches are just as good, if not better than some of the other things on the card. And we've seen that a lot in the last what maybe 4 or 5 years. Some of the women matches are better, if not more impactful. I shouldn't say better
Hmm.
because they're all putting their
They're
bodies
better
online. They're
stories.
all telling
Yeah,
stories. Their storytelling is much better. I'm more connected and more focused on those matches than I get something else. I'm like, why is this coming on after that? And I joke, be like, oh, look, they can do a wrestle. And then you're like, don't do that again. But needless to say, do you see what he said? We got side plates. Put that on a shirt. Because I said we got the side plates instead of the what you call it?
right. You can do it. Custom
Um,
guy. Hit him up if you want one.
you know, we got side plates.
We
We
got
got
side
side plates
plates.
at home. Was that this? Everything you got something at home, right? Here, I'm
Right.
sick of holding this belt. To be honest with you, even
Put it
though
down.
no, because I wanted people to know that it's a belt that's been gone for some time. It's
You look
been
like you look
inactive
like
for
you
some.
itching to talk about the Big Eagle.
Damn, I keep looking at it, but we're not gonna do that. We're gonna say that for another time because Wood has been gone for 25 plus years, and we were excited all over again just to see it make its return. It
Hmm.
had been photoshopped on everybody. People had it all over the place. The speculation train, right?
Yep.
Um,
About to last about a decade, right?
10 years it lasted from '88 to '98, right?
Around
And
two,
the
at
belt over
least
there in
two
the corner.
eras, right? Yeah.
It went through too. It got us through. It gave us some of the best matches. I think that if wrestling stopped today, you're going to have, if you had a top 10 list, I would say probably about half of them would come from this era with this championship. And it's interesting because it's always going to be remembered, not just for the design, but the era that it represented. And I know I said it was a replica because of the definition, but 26 years ago, I'm sorry, it was an age that these superstars were larger than life. These
Hmm.
characters had feuds that didn't just last one show. Sometimes you had to hear about it from your friends that went to the show, and you gotta wait till they come back to your town again and know that that feud was still going on. And that's what you could consider one of them timeless feuds because who's not going to talk about Brett and Sean? Who's not going to talk about Hogan and Savage or Hogan and anybody? Who's not going to talk about how Ted DiBiase is a WWE champion but isn't a WWE champion? You know, it was the rise of a spectacle that we call wrestling. That's literally what it was. Because if it wasn't for this championship, we probably wouldn't be sitting here enjoying what we enjoy today. And Saturday showed us. We all sat there. Me and you were sitting there waiting just for that to happen. Like, we just want to see the belt. We just want to see the belt. Then we said,
Right. Okay.
it's the belt. We were like, all right, on to the next one. Um, any final thoughts about this championship?
I have a question for
Because
you.
here we
Gold
go, that's it.
or dual plated?
Dual plated, without a doubt.
People in the comments, gold or dual plated?
Yeah, in the
I was stuck
comments,
on
would you
gold.
like?
I was stuck on gold for a while, but after I keep looking at that dual plated belt,
What has you
I
about the dual
can't.
plated?
Ugh, man, it's different. It hits different. I'm a photographer, so I pay attention to like
Oh, is that
angles and the
why?
lighting and whatnot. When the light hits it compared to just the all gold, it looks so much. Look at that thing. It looks epic,
But the
you
dual
know?
plate goes through all portions. Look at the top of it, how it
Yeah.
comes through the WWE
And that's
logo,
the one
how
thing I
it
like,
comes through
especially
so
on the
good.
side. Yeah, especially on the side plates with the sunburst pattern. You see the little hints of the nickel coming through the sunburst. That
Hmm.
I pay attention to details, man, and I love the minor details. And that really set me off now. So I might have to get that dual plated as opposed to this gold one. I mean, I have one already, but hmm,
This, and that's where I don't know if people realize that it's a small detail that you could do to a plate. Like when we talk about Dakota Rhodes white strap in the Continental. Even when he
hmm,
brought that back, a lot of people forget that was a nugget texture. That wasn't the clean finish that we were seeing later on because of legal reasons. They had to change it, but it was a nugget texture on each side plate, and it's crazy because people are like, "Oh, Cody brought back the white strap." I'm like, he actually brought back. Um, so Cliff said he has gold, but the dual is back. The dual,
hey,
something about that dual plated, and I'm actually
it's
torn with
different.
dual plated on a white strap. Like
See, I
that's
ain't good
just
with that
talking
white
dirty
strap.
to you, right? Because where's my? I don't. Where is it? Hold on. I might make too much noise if I get up to get it. Where is
What
it?
you looking for?
Oh, it's over there. The IWGP. I was going to get version 5 because to me, version 5 is dual plated gone wrong. But I feel like
Hmm.
that Wing Eagle dual plated was done right.
Dual plating go wrong? How
Yeah, I
so?
think it was because it's gold just on the outside and the dualness is just right there. Or like perfect example, the AEW championship. That's dual plated
Hmm.
done right because you can still see you see gold. You can see
Do
the
you have it?
silver as
Do
the
you have it right there
base.
beside you? The
It's
AW,
over there. It's
so the
over
people
there.
can see it. Is
It's
it
over
like on the
there.
floor or is it in a case or something? Your legs
Keep
broken?
talking. I'm
Yeah, I'm boss. I'm the boss right here now. Go ahead. You ain't had to turn it down. I told you I like the click clack. Come on, man. God, you might as well get you might as well get the version 5 too.
I'm not. I'm going to show dual
Okay.
plated done right. All right. So this is the first version. God dang, this belt is heavy. Of the
It is heavy.
AEW belt. So you see how you can see the silver on top of silver. So this is what I mean by done right, and I'm gonna show you the other version. See how the floor pattern is silver on top of it. This is how the
Hmm.
original AEW belts were. Right. This is version one of it. All right. I know we talking about the big gold belt, but if you look, see how you can see the silver. Look next to the A, right?
Yeah.
All right. So hold on one second. I'm gonna show you the other one. All right. Good
Hmm.
God, this belt is heavy. Only
It
you
is.
here.
That's a heavy one. I know, right?
It's like 30 pounds.
You, you getting your
Like
workout in there.
exactly.
See? Yeah.
So, oh no, there's something on here. Hold on.
Oh,
Oh no, I don't even know
see,
what
you
this
messed
is.
it up.
All right, stop it. So now look at this dual plated. Let me try to get as close as possible. There you can see the gold on top of it, on top of the silver.
Yeah.
So I'm holding it strategically just so you can see it. Of course, I'll turn it the other way. So this is what I mean by dual plated
The
done
nickel,
right.
the nickel, it complements the gold. Doesn't
Yes.
outshine it or anything. Yeah.
The other one was just silver on top of silver. Do I have it upside down? Oh my god. Okay.
Yeah, you do.
Yep. It's on the lower. Um.
Mm. On
See
top
how
about the
it.
tribal chief.
Now you can see the
Yep.
gold above it, and the silver is still coming through every which way
Hmm.
possible. I need to clean this. Oh, god dang it,
It's
you.
all good. She
Um.
she wasn't expecting to be on the show tonight. That's all
No.
good.
And see, the nugget was dope. Final thoughts. If they bring back the dual plated and put it on Dom,
I'm with it.
that would be the ultimate heel move that he could
I'm
let
with it.
him and
Hmm.
Liv have winged eagles. Oh, that
He
would be
might
funny.
come back with the undisputed, like his daddy.
Oh, he thought that does say Chris. Both of them say Chris Jericho. I think all my
Yeah.
AEW belts say Chris Jericho because that
Yeah.
was when
Of course.
that was the last time I was a Jerichoholic. Up until that point, that's when my Jerichoholicism was cured. When he dropped the belt, I was like, yeah, that's enough of that for
Delivered.
me. Yeah, that was enough. Um, I believe the future of AEW Championship and current WWE World Championship will be considered an all-time class. Well, I love. Have you seen how they did the new AEW belt? That
It's
clean
clean.
logo on the front.
It's clean.
Woo! And
But
even when they put the
AEW has
side
some
plates,
beautiful belts, man. Overall, they have some beautiful belts.
if it wasn't for TNA, AEW had the best looking belts.
That
TNA
is
said,
true.
"Hold my beer, watch what I do." The beginning of 2024, AEW, we forgot how good the AEW belt looks. Now, don't get me wrong, the world title is still one of the best. I don't care if it's version one, two, or three. Oh, I just dropped it.
Ooh,
Not the belt,
that
my
sounds
phone.
good.
One, two,
Okay.
or three. You can't deny that this belt just looks good, no matter how you look at it or when you see it. This just screams a world champion. But I'm gonna down my mode here, and here's something I think. I really believe that the international belt was supposed to be the men's belt because if you look at the current women's belt, they're too similar for one not to be the men and one to be the woman. Because they said Tony
Excuse
Khan
me.
had a bunch of belts commissioned and he couldn't figure out
Yeah.
which one to use, so he went with, and that's why he used those belts instead. Um, but not a fan of the clean. Oh, it looks so the mirror finish on it. You don't like the clean. You like the rustic,
The
classic.
rugged look. Yeah. The gritty
Yeah,
look.
like the I don't want to call it destroyed, but like the ridges and stuff in it. Oh, he said he has version one. Do you have the replica or do you have a? Because I don't have replicas of those. I had these made, and I'll never get another AEW belt made again because they're too heavy. I'm just gonna be honest. This belt was like 30 pounds because the first one is 4 millimeter stacked quadruple stacked, and this is triple stacked, and it's both are too heavy. Oh, he has the replica. So yeah, I've heard that it's probably the nicest replica ever. I'm waiting to get my hands on the one because I'll never buy another one from anybody but an AEW. Oh, buddy.
Hmm. Interesting.
Yes. Dang, these belts are heavy. I need to clean them. It just made me look at it because
You
I
haven't
need to
had
clean
a
this.
nice cleaning session in a while.
Don't tell my business.
You need to take a Saturday and just sit in the room with
And
your
just
rag
clean
and a
them off
Windex. Just go
and
crazy.
get to work. Mm-hmm.
Playing
And
your
then
wrestling
put
theme
that there.
song. Yep. You
Put
know what I'm saying?
downstate on repeat.
No, I wasn't thinking that. I was thinking, look in my eyes. What do you
What
see?
is
On replay.
with with that being said, what's your final thoughts on the wing? Because we kind of did what championship culture does. We went off. Uh oh. Uh oh.
Oh yeah. You got something else?
I needs to be heavy.
Yeah, hey,
He
talk
sounds
to
like
us.
you. Oh
Need it
man.
all.
So oh wait a minute. We did a show called Silver and Gold, and we will definitely say ROH was better when they had gold. Why would they go back to the silver and try to give it a modern feel? But it was an epic fail. Um,
Is it? Is it though? Well, the trios was alright though. I like the trios.
the new trios
The new
was all right.
trios, yeah,
The new
yeah,
trios, though, the ones before it looked like the other ones. But
yeah.
I
You're
will
right. You're right.
say, he said silver comes off as second place. See, I'm okay with
Exactly.
silver if it's done right. Like I'm looking at the Impact Knockouts title. Remember that with silver, the one that Mickey James had that she brought to the Royal Rumble. It looked good. The NWA Television Championship looked good. The Cruiserweight title, the Divas title. All these things look good if it was the right design. But then you get certain things like the ROH, you're like, why would you do this? But then,
I
the
see what you
tag belt.
mean. I would definitely prefer gold over
Yeah.
anything. It does give you that feel, that champion feel, that first place feel.
Where's our custom ones? Oh,
Mine is
mine
up
is on the
there.
ground. Yeah, your silver.
Come on, man. You disrespected. Come on,
No,
bro.
I was looking for mine.
You just throw it on the ground. You see what he do with his
Uh oh.
belts? Belt
No, it's
neglect.
sitting right there. Shut up. Um, I don't know which one he said he hates. You hated the ROH ones, I think. Cliff, I think you hated the other one. How many bottles of Windex does it take to clean all them belts? I can actually get it done with one, believe it or not, which is crazy because I only do half the room at a time. Because I have to lay them all out. Because when I used to have them hanging on the wall, it was so much easier. But now I physically don't have that much wall space. I really want to go back to hanging them on the wall, but since I'm having them all displayed like this, um, I miss having them hanging on the wall. It was so much easier. Life was so much easier. God, it was easy. Just grab one, wipe it off, put it back. Grab one, take it to a show, put it back. You know, it was so much easier.
Hmm.
Cleaning day with the WWE regression album play. Yes,
That
yes,
sounds like the next show.
that
Go live with
that
that.
might be about right.
Cleaning day in the museum on a Tuesday, 8 o'clock.
He said, "I only want to see Silver in two dude championships. In two dude championships. You might have to explain. Oh, I hate silver championships. Man, I can show you a really good silver championship, but it's behind Hugh. It's further back because mine is dual plated. I can show you a really good silver one. Sometimes silver done right looks really good.
Talking about the trios.
Cause look at, cause look at the who's the X Division title? Look at the X Division title up there.
Yeah,
Hmm,
yeah.
yeah, which is going to be a sad day if those rumors are true. Um, Instead of silver, they should go with white gold. See, white gold sometimes shimmer hits it the wrong way and it looks off. The strap I use ammonia-free Windex. Um, and sometimes I'll use a little bit of Brasso to give it that
That's right.
gloss like this. But when I say very little, I'll dilute it with water and Brasso and rub it into the actual um, terry cloth towel and rub it on there itself. Um, Instead of silver, you think white gold would look better? I think dual. God dang it!
Yeah,
Let me grab this belt. I'm gonna show you what I
yeah,
mean.
light
So
gold.
yeah, when you start mixing the colors of championships, and this was my experiment, and I love how it came out because when you mix the dual plated correctly, if you look at the trios belt of championship culture, you can see how good I mixed both of them in this design. So I think it all depends on how you do it. Now, and I think Dwayne's is all gold, right?
His is all gold, mine's is silver
But then even look at my
and
side
nickel.
plate. Can you even tell which is what? Oops, sorry. And that's my logo for Custom Guy. But if you look close, you can see. Trying to find it. Where's my dang on camera on this thing? But see how it looks. You can clearly see, and then all of our logo. I mean, the Wrestling Room logo on this side. But look how clean it looks. It looks gold. There's my phone again. It looks gold, but it has
You ain't
silver
gonna
in
have a
it
phone
too.
after
So
work.
I think, yeah, I'm not going to have one. But I got a case with it. It's okay. It's fine. But that's my preference. If you want to do anything with silver, mix a little gold in it, but make sure it's a healthy mix because Hughes Bell completely silver
Oh,
was,
you keep it.
yeah, I was gonna say,
Let me see if I can
grab it
get
to show the difference.
my legs. Boom, here we go.
So if
That's
you see
so
the
gold.
difference, see how his silver pops. In the middle is a more texture portion. It makes his silver come out. So when I was designing, I was trying to figure out what will work best. And see, oops, wrong side plate. See how his logo. It all depends on what you're putting on the belt. So that's why
Yeah.
my logo was red. The dual plated worked perfectly, but his hazmat for his photography, go back to it. See how that yellow and black it all complements. So that's why I wanted to make sure that each one, and that's why a lot of times when it comes to belt design, sometimes a dual plate will work with certain colors. Now, if you have more than one or two colors on there, I would say go with just either gold or silver. I wouldn't say go with both. Um, and that's why the center plate for mine has that one strip of red because the texture is behind it. Whereas the hue only has the same colors that's only on there. Well,
Yep,
yours is
yep.
black and white, right? But
Black, white, with the
the
yep,
bird and the
with a
crown
little bit of
stays the
gray.
same. Like on our, well, my shirt actually is a black bird because I have a yellow shirt. But most of the time you'll
Same.
see the Raven Nicks and the crown's the same color for us.
Yellow,
But
yellow, gold.
yeah, it's just a matter of when it comes to a belt. If you want to get a custom belt made, hit us up. We'll give you our suggestions. We probably have some things that we can show you the difference in them. Hence, like these belts. That's part of the reason we went into this so people can see. If you're on the fence about gold or silver, dual plated, nickel, brass, brasso, nugget texture, floor pad, all of those different things, we can give you the examples and say, okay, what do I want my championship to look like? So the 3 count trivia was all gold, but we mixed a couple different patterns in there. When we designed that, when we went bigger with it, we was like, no, nah, we're gonna make sure that this thing, because we, since we designed the belt that we're gonna win, we wanted to make sure it fit our needs. Put your eyebrow down. So
Hey, that's crazy.
Cliff definitely said nice championship. We have our singles title, our tag belts, and this is our trios belt. So because what? Everybody has a story. Oh man, what year did I start collecting championships? It was 2000. This is why I need Brian. When did I buy that undisputed belt? What year was that? Because it was the year
You asking the wrong
before.
person.
Yeah, because well, put it like this. Um, episode one, the very first episode of Championship Culture, I go in depth about my favorite belt. But my very first
Mm,
belt was a gift for my birthday, and it was the Intercontinental title that's been signed by Chris Jericho, pre AEW Chris Jericho. Um, and that was the first championship I got, and I can tell you it was before 2007 because when he made his return in 2007, that's when he signed it. So I feel
right.
like it might have been 2005 or 2006. I got it
I
for my
feel like
birthday.
I
So,
feel like Bryant said it was like '05. I think it was around '05.
because remember, I got the undisputed title right behind it because it was like a
Yeah,
hole. Like I got the Intercontinental, then I found the season one. They'll tell you how I came across that undisputed, and then I got the Big Eagle because I remember those were my three belts for a while, and then I won the Big Gold, and those were my four belts. Because even when I moved to Ohio, those were my belts, and then I started picking up belts when I was in Ohio
you just
in
decided to get
15.
10,000 of them, right? Because I like belts. I ain't mad
Yeah,
at you, brother.
so I'm gonna
You're the
probably
guy for a
say
reason.
2005 I started, but it was a slow rise, and then literally 2019, 2020, it just got out of control. It just it
It
just
did.
got out of control. It did.
It did.
It definitely got out of control. But I'm sticking to my gun. I'm going to stay at the 140 range. I'm not going to go over 140.
He's lying. But
I'm not.
hey, I'm gonna let you continue to lie. Good.
I'm not. Yeah.
All right. Do we have anything else to cover? You think we hit it? You think we did well with this?
I think we did. I think we did. Did we do it? People in the
Hey,
comments, did we do it? Did we talk about while we holding the other championship? I feel like I need to put the big eagle back. I mean, let me put the. I'm gonna
the
put the
wing
white
eagle right
strap
now.
up. Yeah, let me put the wing eagle back on because that's what
Wing
this
eagle white strap.
topic of today. Yeah, on the white strap. That
Mm-hmm.
wing eagle. Look at them wings. Ooh, buddy. Oh, I think I lost. I think I lost brother here.
No, you didn't.
Okay. All right. So with that being said, we didn't even take a break. We just kept going through because this was an interesting conversation. But as
Right.
you could tell, we want to tell everybody make sure that you join us in the comments. As you can see, we engage in the comments the whole time. And don't forget to like and subscribe to all of our social media so you never miss a chance when we go live, right?
That's
Hey,
absolutely correct.
where can they find us at so they never miss any of this?
You can, you can find me all social media platforms at HASTAT3RD. And you can find brother Guy, Brandon the Guy, at Custom Guy 913. You can find us at Championship Culture _ on IG. And Brandon, you can take it away, the rest.
Oh, here we go. And don't forget, tune in every Tuesday at 8 p.m. for a new episode of Championship Culture. Because trust me, we want to thank everybody for watching. And remember, yes, thanks, Cliff. Fun conversation. Join us anytime. But I got to
Yes,
tell you
sir.
this. Oh, I got my first two in
Appreciate you.
2015. It started back a year ago, and now I have 9 and 10. You're going to have to tell us what those collections are because guess what? Everybody has a story, and we
There it
can't wait
is.
to hear yours.
Peace.
You want to eat like a champion? Check out Mr. Fries, located on 419 York Road in Tulsa, Maryland. If you go in and just use the promo code championship, you'll be able to eat like a champion. Once again, save 10% by going over to Mr. Fries and using the promo code championship. Make sure you tell them that the Championship Culture Boys sent you. And remember, go over to Instagram and follow us at Championship Culture _. And don't forget, check out youtube.com/restaurant. Look for the playlist for Championship Culture. And remember, every belt has a story.